Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing Grand Theft Auto 6 finally being announced after years and years of anticipation. But how excited should fans be? Well, we're going to talk about that right now. It's time for my 2-bit 2 cents. Roll the intro.
La 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 la. What kind of intro is that?
So I want to start by talking about the announcement of Grand Theft Auto 6 and why that felt a little different than what we've kind of gotten used to from Rockstar over the last 10 years, I guess. I mean, that only leaves 2 games to think about, but in any case, something that seemed kind of different to me about it was that usually with Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, they have done like a pre-build up to the announcement of the game. So for Grand Theft Auto 5, they changed the website and they gave like a little tease, like, oh, we might be doing something with Grand Theft Auto 5. And then like a week later, they made the official announcement and it got its own page, like kind of release. It was its own full segment. And a week later, you got the trailer, which was really cool. And they did the same kind of thing with Red Dead Redemption 2. They changed their website to that Rockstar, Red Dead Red, and then that got everybody excited. Like, is there going to be a Red Dead Redemption 2 announcement? And then a week later, they made the announcement, and then a week after that, they released the trailer, and then there was a slew of information that followed with screenshots and, releases of trailers every few months. And so we got a steady stream of information. And this Grand Theft Auto 6 announcement feels really, really different from that. And I'm going to explain how right now. So the first thing that's really different is that this didn't get its own kind of solo announcement, standalone announcement. The announcement was kind of tacked on to the end of another Rockstar Newswire announcement that they had released, where they were talking about Grand Theft Auto Online and stuff like that. And they just kind of mentioned it at the end there. They didn't really give it its own place, its own story. And that felt really strange to me. There was no logo released with it. They didn't even call it Grand Theft Auto 6. They just said the next Grand Theft Auto. So who even knows what that is? I mean, it doesn't even sound like they're even solid on what they want to call it, which is kind of strange to me right off the bat if they're announcing it. And you couple that with the fact that it's been 2 weeks. There's no trailer. There's no screenshots or anything like that would suggest that there's something worth seeing, even little stills of the game world or anything like that, or maybe a shot of the protagonist. Before we even knew who Arthur Morgan was, we saw pictures of Arthur Morgan, right? Nothing like that here so far over 2 weeks after the announcement. And it just seems kind of strange that they would have these very deliberate, obviously very planned build-ups to the announcement for Red Dead Redemption 2 and for Grand Theft Auto 5, and for the anticipation behind Grand Theft Auto 6. Where's the fanfare? Where's the excitement? Where's the build-up and the anticipation that Rockstar thrives off of? It's not really there. It's a footnote at the end of Newswire, of a different Newswire announcement. So that just seems kind of off to me. I don't know why they would do an announcement and make it so uninteresting and unexciting. It's just not very exciting. And so I really think that Rockstar is in damage control mode right now. I don't think that they really had planned to announce Grand Theft Auto 6 when they announced it. I think that they're doing that in response to the very poor reception to Expanded and Enhanced Edition for PS5 and Xbox Series X, and to the definitive edition of the trilogy. I think people really responded badly to that too. I think Rockstar started to realize, hey, we're losing the crew here. We're not, people are not buying into this the way that we thought that they were going to buy into it. I think they thought that they would be able to get a nice money bump from the definitive edition and from reselling Grand Theft Auto 5 with expanded and enhanced, and from taking that and expanding Grand Theft Auto Online, and that would give them a cushion to really address what Grand Theft Auto 6 would be. You might remember a few months ago when there was a rumor or a leak. I don't really know how valid it was, but it seemed like a lot of people took it seriously. It leaked that Grand Theft Auto 6 had been delayed, and that they had to start over, or that there had been a serious delay and that it was in developmental hell. It just seems strange to go from that to announcing the game, which is why I think they weren't planning on announcing the game. What they wanted to do was milk Grand Theft Auto Online a little bit longer and get a little bump from the definitive edition, and that would buy them some time. I never even thought that they would announce this before they released expanded and enhanced edition. They would think about it like, you wouldn't want to be competing with Grand Theft Auto 5. Well, people want to buy Grand Theft Auto 5 if they know Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out in a year or 2 years, right? Maybe that would slow people down from wanting to buy it. I highly doubt it. Maybe a little bit, but I don't think that's something they'd really have to worry about. But I think that's how they think about stuff like this. And so I really think that they would not have wanted to make that announcement before expanded and enhanced comes out in March. And yeah, that's really my take on it. I think that it's a damage control response. It's a reaction, and it's not a overall arcing plan like they normally have. And it could speak to the game being maybe rushed a little bit, or that maybe they're settling a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised, and I know this won't be a popular opinion. A lot of people are saying, well, I've heard people say maybe it'll be announced in May when Take-Two has their quarterly earnings announcement. And, maybe they'll do a trailer then, or maybe they'll do a screenshot then. Maybe. I'd love it if they did, if it was really ready to do that. But I actually think it'll be a while before we actually see anything like a screenshot or a trailer for the game, because I actually don't think they have that much ready right now. As excited as I think people want to be about this, I think you should temper your expectations a little bit. I mean, not to say that it's going to be a bad game, or that they're just going to totally, blow Grand Theft Auto 6.
You blew it!
But what I am trying to say is I don't think that they're going to be coming out with a lot of information right away. I think that it could be as long as a year. It might even be Christmas time or longer before you actually hear anything meaningful about it. And even then, you could be still looking at delays. And just naturally, I mean, even if everything in the world was perfect right now, there could still be delays from Rockstar. They always have delays on their games. So I'd really temper your expectations, and I'd be surprised if Grand Theft Auto... Fuck. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'd be surprised if we saw Grand Theft Auto 6 come out before 2024 at the earliest. I'm thinking maybe a lot more like 2025, which isn't what a lot of people want to hear, but I think is probably the reality. I'd love to be wrong, but I don't think I am. Well, that's my 2 cents. What do you think? Do you think Grand Theft Auto 6 will come out before 2025? Let me know in the comments down below. If you liked the video, go ahead and smash that like button and hit subscribe so you'll always know when you can get my 2-bit perspective, and ring the bell icon so you'll always know when you can get my 2 cents. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time.